Hi, and welcome to Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. This is a special edition. I'm doing some streaming, working on my art journal that we've been working on, my upcycled journal. So I'm going to continue working on that, kind of get you an idea of where I'm going with that and some ideas that I've been kicking around. So thank you for joining me on this Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Many of you know that my Thanksgiving is not till later this weekend. My kids are gone. My husband is working. So I'm home alone. And what better way to spend my time than to spend it painting and chatting with my crafty friends. And I really, really am glad that y'all took the time to be here. Instead of, looking at the backs of your eyelids tonight. So, well, thank you, Susan. I am not alone. I have all my friends on Ustream, or at least several of them. So that's kind of fun. Been working on this. Many of you know I'm a calendar girl. I enjoy having spaces to doodle, make my list, that kind of stuff. I'd promised I'd show you my art calendar. Last year, I had been watching the year before, and saw these art calendars that these artists were making, and mine is very me. Mine is papers and stuff like that, but I Zentangled my words, and then made my art journal, or my calendar journal. This one was for the month of February. I didn't get January done, but I got February started on time. And did pretty good. Kept notes and all that kind of stuff, and really enjoyed making the calendar. And then about that time, I learned that I was going to be a part of the DigiDelights design team for the challenges. And these little critters, like this little bunny. Let's see. Little bunny up here. The background paper and all that kind of stuff. Those are DigiDelights items. And so I started at that time putting stuff on my calendar about that. And kind of got carried away with what I was doing. Started doing some fill-in Ustreams and that kind of stuff. And just didn't ever get back to doing this. And I really missed it because I had such a fun time doing this and really enjoyed it, and love how what I've done so far turned out. Too bad I didn't keep doing that, right? So this just is me. This is all doodling and stuff. I have a board on Pinterest that has some fabulous eye candy. If you want to see some amazing art calendars, go there. They do a challenge every year, I think. Started a couple of years ago. And during this challenge, there's a board on Flickr, and you upload your stuff, and wow, some amazing artists out there that do that. And I hope I can join that this year. And that's what I want part of this to be, is what I'm going to put my art calendar in. So I'm creating pages that will accommodate a calendar of sorts. And that one I just hand drew my February and then did my Zentangle around it. But I have some templates that I have for letters and stuff that I recently rediscovered when I was doing some moving of things, and I will be using some of those for my letters and stuff just to make it simpler and to go faster, but I'll still be Zentangling them because I love to Zentangle. Last night I worked on this a little bit. Wish I could have gone to the Black Eyed Peas concert, but they weren't where I am. That must have been a fabulous concert. So instead, I did this. Listened to a little bit of Christmas music and, you know, polka dotted up my page and added some fun little elements to it and really enjoyed it. What I talked about last night was, as I'm working through this, I'm kind of work a page, skip a page, work a page, skip a page. Because what happens is, like, for instance, on these 2 pages, I painted this up straight to the touch, right? But this page was still damp feeling on the back. And so let this rest and then went on to this page. And obviously some of the pages I'm putting in scrapbook paper like this. Some pages I'm painting all of the page. This was a skip a page page. Some pages I'm gessoing because, you know, I can't decide. I want this to be ready for whatever. Accept it. I knew I didn't like anything on the background of these, so I knew whatever I did was going to be art coming onto it. So I have this ready to accept whatever art I put on it, either sprays and misting and stenciling, or stamping and inking, or more paint, whatever. And I talked about this when I first started. It's amazing. See how it's almost like a fabric, okay? It's not papery. Like, okay, here's a piece of paper that's, you know, it's real flimsy feeling. I didn't glue pages together or anything like that. The thickness of the paint or the gesso just makes this really, it's not flimsy anymore. And the artists that I've been watching on Ustream, a lot of them are like this one. This one has paint on both sides. And this is really a substantial piece of paper at this point. A lot of them are using those modeled, lined journals to do their stuff in. And I had asked them, I said, are you gluing papers together to, you know, make them that sturdy? And they're like, nope, I just art on it and, you know, wham, it's that sturdy. Just because of the latex and the acrylic paints or the gesso or, you know, whatever they're using, whatever medium they're using. All the mediums seem to give it an added quality of feel. So last night, went in, just laid in some colors. Here, this page, I like this green going on around this. The words, not so much. And so I went ahead and gessoed over these people. There were people under here walking, and you can kind of still see it. Yeah, I know. The paper is really thin in those little line journals, but they're not adding stuff to it. It's just amazing how, and I did that. I have one that I started with my kids. Each of us started a journal, and the paper, you know, I used a little bit of gesso, like Liquitex gesso, and painted right on it. And the paper is super, super sturdy. So I can't explain it. I don't know why it is. It just is. I know. Trust me. Just try it. Just take, I mean, those are super cheap. Take one and try it. It'll amaze you how sturdy that paper gets once you've applied paint to it, or once you've applied, you know, as long as it's like an acrylic paint. Yeah, or in the magazines. Why start on a journal with lines that's blank when you can, you know, repurpose something else? So, hi Dawn. Is hubby substantially squeezed? So, you know, I'll probably either come back in here with white space, you know, just a white piece of paper, or a lined piece of paper. I haven't decided yet on this. So, that's what I've been doing. I need to come in and cover up. There's a URL down here. Yeah, it does kind of look like a waterfall, doesn't it? Isn't that weird? But it's very neat. So, and this one, I love this turtle. I have a red-eared slider at my house. Actually, that's a tortoise. Sorry. Let me get it right. I have a red-eared slider at my house, and I love, love, love him. And so anything reptilian is always fun, except for snakes. And that I just kind of colored green. So just kind of base coating as we go along. I discovered, and this is definitely a case of letting the art take me. I discovered that this is 200 pages, roughly. And so each month will have 16 to 17 pages, depending on how intense I want it to be. But I decided, as I section it off and getting ready to start, actually doing stuff in it, I think I want little tabs. And that's what I discovered last night. I think I need little tabs. I'm going to make little tabs tomorrow, probably, for my Ustream and add those in while I'm, getting ready, doing the covers and stuff, and doing some more tip-ins. And I want an envelope at each month. So I'll be showing you tipping in some stuff tomorrow and that kind of thing. Tonight we're just going to paint some more and ooh and ah. Yeah, this page I'm not sure what I want to do with this page yet, so I'm just going to skip it all together. And I knew I wanted to paint over here. See, random people is, yeah, they'll at least get painted out. But I do like the tree that's going on over here. So I may make this another place to do a Zentangle in the middle of my tree. I don't know. But right now, we're going to get started. Let me find my brush that I want to use. Oh, here's my brush. Not my son's brush, my brush. So, and I have my little paint tray. Isn't it cute? I got that at Walmart for, like, doing your paint. Yes, right? This was the mold. And see, this could be something really cool, too. But these were just... Now, here's my mold tip. I know this is totally not about journals, but this, unlike the putty molds, unlike these as a mold, I dusted it just slightly with the sparkle powder, the pearlescent. I know, the center would be great too. And I put it in here. Well, I have found with these molds, my impatience is okay, and I can yank these off when I'm ready. This, you have to wait for it to get completely warm and completely cool before it will release itself from the plastic. It does not care if you are impatient. It says, ha ha, and silly girl, and, makes you wait. It's just one of those things. It was the longest 30 minutes of my life. You're seeing, and Amanda may cringe, I don't know. You're seeing my favorite way to clean this is to wait for it to dry and then just peel it off. I bet you could refrigerate it. I would wait till it was, because usually if I tap it and it taps, I call it good, It's like, okay, let's pull it off. But it would not pull off for anything. Glad to know that's how you clean yours. Actually, last time I handed a dime to Will and said, go scrape that. I don't see a dime up here, though. Oh, here's a dime. Is that what everybody else does, is use their dime? There we go. Okay, that's good enough for gesso. It is easier. Same with cake batter, or not cake batter, but icing. Wait for it to dry. You use paper plates. Well, I have these for two reasons. One, If I used a paper plate, my children, when they're painting with me, they would fill a big old puddle, and this makes them only use that much, which is important, because they would definitely, you know, use a big old wad of paint. And what I'm looking for is my square thing. Anybody know where my square coaster went to? Or a round coaster? There's a round coaster. Is that big enough to cover people? Yeah, okay. That's big enough to cover people. So I'm going to that's cool. That's a great idea, Susan, to cut them up if you really like the color theories with them. Okay. You need a lot of paint. Well, Sam would agree with you. She thinks she needs a lot of paint too. She loves to paint. And she knows the drill at this point. She'll get out. We have a big roll of newsprint that really belongs to my friend Holly, but she lets it live here with the notion that it will get used if it's here, and she's okay with that because she would rather it be used than be sitting around doing nothing. And so the big roll of newsprint gets rolled out. We use it a lot for doing, what do you call it? Paper mache. We use it a lot for paper mache, but we also use it a lot for doing paint things because we can just roll it out and get paint on it and then we can go on. So she'll roll that out. Most of the time she'll remember she has to change clothes. And then she'll go and she'll get out of the closet the bucket of acrylic paint. And that's one of the things that she asked for Christmas this year is her own bucket of acrylic paints. And so she'll go get the bucket of acrylic paints and the brushes. And we have some brushes in our house that are completely disposable. I get them on sale with a coupon or whatever. Or I get them at the Dollar Tree. And those we can trash and we don't have to worry about it. It's not like my Daleroni brush here that even though it's not the best brush in the world, is nicer and I don't want to just throw it away. You know what I mean? Exactly. Dollar Tree. Mom gets a whole bunch of the foam brushes when they're a penny a piece or whatever, or 12 for $1. So, well, she wants her own bucket. And of course, when she said this, my knowledge was, okay, we need to go find a pink bucket because she's all about the color pink. And I had seen them at the Dollar Tree. I had seen them at Walmart. And so I really wasn't real concerned, but I knew I needed to get one. Dollar Tree has none. The Walmart has none because they're getting ready for Christmas, and so they have taken anything that I might want and put away. So, you're going to the Dollar Tree tomorrow on the way to work? Cool. If you see a pink little tote, pick one up. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to pick one up. So, but that's going to be another Zentangle spot. But I'm going nowhere tomorrow. Nobody's asked me to, and I am not going. I refuse. Dawn, did you hear what we're doing? Do you need to be brought up to speed? Or are you arting along with me, Dawn? I love it when people art along with me. I love it when people talk to me while I'm trying to art, but apparently I can art for hours and not realize that the camera is not working. I'm waiting for Pop-Tarts. Oh, yum! Warm ones or cold ones? You're going to help your sister-in-law tomorrow? Well, that is nice of you. With Mom? Tomorrow, I'm going to work on my trees. I'm going to work on this some more. I'm gonna eat gumbo. Yum. Love eating gumbo. Let's go this way. Let's work on the other page. Yeah. I cooked my gumbo till the okra was done. And, Bill and I ate late. Since we're without children, we can eat whenever we want to. And apparently, we don't eat as often as the normal folk when we don't have kids because we're busy doing, projects or watching a movie or whatever. And eating is not on the top of our list. You've never even seen okra in real life? Okay, Dawn, if for no other reason than to use it in a craft project, you need to go get some okra because it's very cool. It is furry, but it's so yummy. And it's a key ingredient to gumbo. Have I told y'all my okra story before? Okay. My dad loves to garden. Always has a big garden. My love of gardening came from my dad. So, every year my dad would have a humongous garden. Well, one year we had a big, huge hailstorm and had to get our roof replaced. Amanda, you should be able to relate. And so, the roofers, they had, been working all day and stuff, and my dad had, this huge garden in the backyard. And finally, when Dad got home from work, the foreman came up to him. He said, "Sir, what is that in the backyard that you're growing?" Because these plants, I kid you not, were as tall as my dad, and he is 6'4". Some were taller. And they had their little pods on them, because, my dad is quite the okra grower. And people thought it was pot. And I'm like, really? Because one, you need to get your horticulture book out and look again, because the two plants, in my opinion, do not resemble each other. And yes, I will say I have seen a pot plant up close. Not because I partake of the substance, but because my grandmother, who also could grow anything, worked for the city of Sandersville, and they had acquired some seeds, and the police wanted to make sure that these seeds were what they thought they were, because they thought they were pot seeds. And so they gave them to my grandmother because everybody knew that my grandmother could grow anything. And so she planted them in a pot and had them growing on the front porch one summer when we came down, and my dad was like, Mom, you do know what that is, right? And she goes, well, they think it's that marijuana. That marijuana. Yeah, and she made the brownies. No, she didn't make the brownies. But, you know, but she gave them to the city so that they knew for certain, you know, and the people were prosecuted for having such stuff in their possession. But, oh my goodness. So, you know, having seen that, one could honestly say that okra, not pot. Pot, not okra. The two really should not be confused. So, but yeah. So, silly roofer boys. But anyway, okra. Back to okra. Okra is awesome. I love it fried. I love it boiled. I love it in stews and soups and gumbo. We do a lot of okra. Bill doesn't like it boiled. He's a Yankee. He doesn't like it boiled. But he will definitely eat it fried. And such a boon of all boons. We have a golden chick here. They're within walking distance of my house. Heat gun. And oh my goodness. It is just really to die for. They have the best fried okra, other than making it yourself, you know. So, but okra can be used for making some really cool prints. Because the pod, when you cut it, within the okra pod, it has these like little containers, and there's little seeds in there. And so they make cool little flowers and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, if nothing else, just to create with it, you should go get some going. Ooh, Ashton. Little Ashton commercial. We'll let this circle dry, and then I'll probably come back and work on it again so that it gets a little bit more opaque. Right now, I can still see people behind it. So, Scotiabank commercials. See, because I live in Texas, I keep getting my commercials in Spanish. That, or I get Sesame Street commercials. And I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how they target people. Yeah, I get the ABCs too. Although my ABCs are way cooler than their ABCs. Because we wrap our ABCs in our house. Let's see, I'm going to show you. See how this is wrinkled back here underneath where I painted? It's not dry. That's why we're going to skip a page so that can thoroughly dry. Even though I'll have it dry enough to be dry to the touch over here. We'll still skip the page behind it. One of my favorite people to watch craft is a lady called Journal Artista. Her name is Paula. And she has a practice of when she does a stencil on her stuff. What she does is, after she does her stencil, you know, spray, whatever, then she goes to the back of her book and pats it on that side so that, you know, the overspray that's on top of it gets onto another page. So it, you know, reuses that stencil, the negative of it or the reverse of it. Night, Amanda. Thanks for coming by for a little. And so she does that, and so at the end of her journal, she's finally getting to the end of this journal. She has all of these spots started, kind of pre-spotted, or like kind of like this, set up little parts where she's done a little bit of arting, and she's ready to go do some more arting. So I'll go ahead and go over this one more time. The reason I'm not going back over the words, I can still see the words behind it. I don't know if this got recorded last night. Last night was kind of a, oh, let's just do this. This sounds like fun kind of a night. And I was talking to my mom. My mom left to go get cookies. And, of course, I kept doing what I'm doing now, which is I'm looking down and arting, and am not paying attention. Well, she was the only one that actually came to talk to me. And so there was nobody to say, hey, fool, we've lost your broadcast. And so I was like, oh, crap, I wonder how long I went without broadcasting. An hour. An hour is how long I looked and arted with my head down. So I can't remember when I talked about altered books while I was doing that. So I'll talk about it now. Yeah, I know, right, Dawn? I was just like, oh, you're so silly. And it's just like, ha, how silly am I? But I had fun, you know, and had other people seen me. They might have had fun too. I don't know. But I was having a good time, enjoying myself painting. But anyway, talking about altered books. When I first started learning about altered books, I, of course, you know, being the art history major that I was in college, went back to see where these were conceived. And anybody have any idea how old altered book is? Exactly, Susan. Thousands. Monks, back even in Egyptian times, would run out of parchment because they weren't, right, and illuminators too, Dawn. They would have parchment. It wasn't as plentiful as, you know, travel books are today. And they would run out of stuff, and so when they needed to write something else, they would obliterate the letters, you know, where you couldn't read them anymore, and then start over writing. Pamphlet, if you look that up, it will tell you about altered booking, the first altered booking, where they took old scrolls to use them over. And that's much better. And so that's where it began. And it's kind of neat that, you know, everything old is new again, right? Same concept. But it just kind of goes to show that, you know, nobody has truly original ideas anymore, right? But the monks and the priests would get rid of the lines and the words and make a new thing. Okay, so this will be ready for me to come in a little while when I'm ready and do, you know, a doodle around it or whatever to make that a place to Zentangle. I may just leave it. I may not even come back and do a doodle around it until much later. Okay? But there's a spot to do it in. And again, if you look at this side, it's still, even though over here it's very dry, these are dry spots, Over here, it's still kind of wrinkled, and it's kind of damp to the touch. So I'm going to leave this page alone, let it get its wits about it. And then we're already to the page that we started with all those many moons ago. So, and here, I really like this font that says America. I may leave America and come in here with some other colors. I haven't used purple yet. But they would reuse stuff. I did online when I belonged to a little community before Facebook. One of the arty crafty communities I was in, I did tons and tons of demos and that kind of stuff in the written form. Lots of tutorials, written tutorials. Is a place similar to Split Coast Crafters, only smaller. And when they finally closed their store, they went ahead and closed their discussion board and stuff too. But I had done lots of tutorials there and participated in a number of swaps and exchanges. And one of the swaps I hosted was a altered book swap that worked kind of like a round robin, where you would do your artwork in everybody's book, and then you would come back and you'd have a journal with everybody's artwork in it. Lots of fun. Really enjoyed it. Never got my book back, which is one of the chances you take when you do something like that. There was a couple of us that one of our particular artists decided that she was not going to pass them on. And so that was about the time I had decided I'd had enough of swapping. So, yeah, I know. But I was I was out the art. I missed the art. I was sad about being out the art. But I used what you should do an art journal book, or not art journal book, but an altered book. I used a used book. So I wasn't out a whole lot of money. I didn't go out and buy a nice, one of those nice, real pretty, like, books made with handmade papers and all that kind of stuff. I have one of those. I have one of those for my turning 40 book, which I'm now 42. You see, I've gotten it so far into it. Actually, I'll wait. You have an ad. I'll wait. Tell me when she's back from her ad experience. Are you back? Are you back, Dawn? Are you back? Okay. What I was saying is I had gotten a really nice book with the handmade papers for my turning 40 book. Well, many of you know, I'm 42 now. And, Scotia, you're richer than you think. Being that I'm 42 now, I've gotten so far in my turning 40 book. Actually, I've gotten farther than I would think. I've got planned out many of the pages. It was going to be, 40 things I like about being 40. So hopefully I'll finish it before I turn 50. But, because there's not 50 pages in it, there's 42 pages in it. So, but I've got it planned out. I know what I want to do. It has lots and lots of doodle work and handwork in it. So, it'll be a beautiful book when I'm done, but it'll be a complete art book. It won't be an altered book. So, I've been carrying it around. Let's see, when did I buy that book? I bought that book probably, I think it'll be really cool. I probably bought that book about 10 years ago. So, see, it took me 8 years to figure out what I was going to do with it. Because it was a gorgeous book. Gorgeous book. But, and I knew I wanted the book. But it hadn't told me what it wanted to be yet. So, like I was talking about this, you know, as I was sitting there last night, and it dawned on me that, you know, I had 200 pages here to work with for the year, and how many pages I would need for a month, and all that kind of stuff. It came to me that, you know, we need tabs, so we'll do tabs. And then each tab will have its whatchamacallit, its calendar associated with that. So, oh wow, this is almost a perfect match of the purple that is over here. That's pretty crazy. I'm very excited about this. This is making me very happy getting this done, because I'll be so on top of it when the new year hits. Because my plan is to have at least January and February's calendars completely done. Yeah. And then, because, see, I don't want to get too far ahead of doing my art calendars, because I may change my mind or decide how I want to do it. In January, I could be doing, you know, like March's calendar. You know, be 2 months ahead won't be too bad. So that by March, I have a place to write what we did. The purpose of the front calendar will be a what we did calendar. I do have pinned a very, very cool, and that will be at the very beginning of the book, 2012 calendar. And I can't remember if that was a Graphics Fairy calendar or what. Because I love Graphics Fairy stuff. But I have a 2012 calendar pinned that I also have already downloaded to my hard drive. That's very kind of old looking, very fun. And I will put that at the very beginning because, you know, I need an actual calendar to keep up with stuff. And then each month, as I update my online calendar, I can print them out. I belong to a program called Calendars Quick, and it's very cool how it works. And I can print them out and tip them in so that they fold up and fold out. So my actual schedule for the kids or for my artwork and that kind of stuff will be, you know, a printed out calendar that I can see. And then the art journal calendar, or the art calendar that I make, will be what we actually did, or actual milestones that we did. I don't know if you saw the other one, but it had on there, like, when Will lost a tooth, or when I learned about my design team, or, you know, different things like that. So, right now, I kind of like these wolves over here. I'm not in the mood to decide I don't like them. And so I'm just going to I'm going to dry this here in a minute. And I'm going to leave America here. I'm not sure if I'm not positive I want to get rid of America, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Yeah, the wolves are very cool. They're very pretty. Although this picture kind of reminds me of that movie, was it The Next Day or something like that, where the iceberg takes over the planet and everything is freezing and the kids are stuck in, like, New York or somewhere like that, or, yeah, one of the big cities, and the wolves come down, and because they're stuck in the New York library, and they're burning books to stay warm, and a ship has been brought in with the iceberg and is docked like across from the library. Yeah, The Day After Tomorrow. That one. Yeah, and then the wolves. Oh my god, it's crazy. That's a crazy movie. Yeah, they burned furniture too. They burned some like old law books and crap like that. So Dawn, how do you feel about altering a book if we can't burn the book? Can we make it into better art? Can we cut a hole in it and you're coming to terms with it? Well, see, Dawn, maybe what you need is like this. You know, this is making a something that would go into the landfill into something usable for me. Because I mean, other than cutting it up and arting with it, which you know you'd have to come to terms with, um, really this would serve no other purpose because it's an out of date book, and you know you're making cards. Awesome. Okay. So here's the side of this, and then that side. Yeah. What are your two projects with books? Now see how ugly, how ugly these 2 pages are. These are awful because this is all about this tour to the Hidden Alaska tour. I love the bears. The bears are cute, but that's the only redeeming thing about this page. So, kind of like this paper. And I really like these stars on this paper. An empty dollar store journal. Woo, that'll be fun. I can't wait to see either one of them. I'm cutting my paper over here into a junk journal. That's cool. Using the junk mail and stuff like we were talking about. Cool. I had already measured this. I know this is roughly 9 by 10, roughly. I want these stars to be on this edge, though. I don't want to cover up stars. So I want to stamp it. I want to put that one there. I'm going to put this on the edge like this. I'm going to do this one similar to this page over here that I did like this. So. Okay, let's get the paint. Bring me the paint. We need some pink on this page. Or do we? Well, let's go with the green. Let's go with the green. I'm just using my little water bowl to wash my brush out. And I've got an old flour sackcloth here that I'm getting the water out of my brush with. So that it's ready to carry on. I'm going to go with this green. This green kind of matches this green. It's not as limey as the green in there, but it'll... Actually, it's not limey at all compared to that green, is it? Let's see if I have another green. What green is this? This is Gecko Green. Let's try this Gecko Green. That's a little better. Still not limey, but it's definitely brighter. Oh yeah, I guess it's limier. Oh yeah, much better. I like painting in a crosshatch motion, especially for this, because I like the texture it leaves on the page. And it gets good coverage when I'm doing that. So, if you're wondering why I'm painting in such a strange manner, it's because I love how it covers. This green that I'm using right now, this Gecko Green, I really like. It's a very nice green. It's a Ceramcoat color. Yeah, I like the texture. With the Mod Podge, or not Mod Podge, sorry, with the gesso, it's not too overbearing. I can still tangle over it, but it just has just that little bit of texture that it's not just real boring. And then also, you don't have to be so careful with it, like if you're trying to do, a real nice smooth, and you know how sometimes you get that, you get off of that pattern, and you don't have to be so anal about that. You can just get the paint on in this fun fashion. I've got just a piece of cardstock underneath it to kind of help with any. Well, I don't know why I'm going all the way to the edge there. Sorry, I don't need to go all the way to the edge there. I've got a piece that I'm going to paint there. How silly am I? Okay. Thanks for nobody stopping me. Letting me just paint over to the edge. But, I have to get somebody to go to the store and get me some more of that. We do not have Ceramcoat at our Walmart here in Stephenville. You used to get Ceramcoat at Walmart, but not anymore. Now we're entirely folk art paint or the Apple Barrel paints, Plaid products. Ceramcoat is a Delta product. You were cutting paper? Okay, you're forgiven. You will tell me if I go away and don't come back, right? I hope Susan didn't fall asleep at her keyboard. I hope she's arting or something to keep herself busy. Okay, even though the bears are cute, I'm covering them up. I hope nobody objects. It's my book. I get to do that if I want to. The wolves are cuter, in my opinion. The bears are cute, but the wolves are cuter. Ideally, I want to have all of the basing of all of my pages done so that I just, every couple of months work on the next couple of months or whatever of the actual arting it out or obviously the pages that I designate to be lined pages will already have line work on them, or lined page work on them. But, I'm sorry. Just know he'll live at peace under the paint and the paper. Those places will be there, so I can go ahead and write ahead and write, okay, this is due this day, or this is due that day, so that I can keep up with things. But it'll be exciting to be at this point next year and see, be starting my next one, because I'm hoping I will enjoy it enough to do another one. And then see where this one went to. Because it's really exciting to me already that it's getting kind of chunky feeling, and it's not even got, like, stuff in it yet. I mean, it's got, the stuff I've added or whatever, but it doesn't have me. Well, it has me in it too, but it doesn't have my life in it right now. Right now, it just has my art in it. It doesn't have my life in it. So, because I think I'm going to continue my word for, I think my word for last year, I'll have to look and write what my word for last year was. I think it was just do it, or something like that. Or was that your word? I can't remember, or your phrase. Anyway, I've got to think about that too, because I've done so much towards my goals this year that I really, really enjoyed. There's some things that I didn't get done, like, doing the art calendars like I wanted to, which I'm remedying that for next year. But there's still a number of things that just need to be finished. But I want to expand a number of things as well. So, yeah, it does change. So I've got to work on my word, because it needs to be a good word. That's an Allie Edwards thing, I think, is to pick a word for the year. I like Allie Edwards. It sounds like something she would do. I think it is her thing. But now I have a spot to journal about it in here. And that will be very cool. But, like, I did some sewing. I want to do some more sewing. I didn't do as much sewing as I had wanted to do. I wanted to get at least one sewing project done a month. I probably did about half of that. Probably got about half of those done. I got about maybe 6 or 7 projects done. If you don't include things like hemming up, pants or something, I don't include that. That, in my opinion, that's just part of being a mom. You're supposed to hem up pants. So that I don't include. But yeah, you just do it, because if you don't, then your children have long legs, and it's kind of strange. But I want to do more sewing projects. I definitely want to do more crochet projects. I didn't do as many crochet projects as I had wanted to do. I'll do several this season, getting ready for Christmas. So that might make up for that, I don't know. But there's still some things that I've bought something or whatever and didn't do anything with it. It's just sitting there. And I need to get those things done. The only paper I've bought this year is White, Black, and Craft. That's the only paper I bought this year. Even at Scrapbook Convention, I didn't buy paper this year. No, I take that back. I did buy. I take that back. I lied. I did buy some paper this year. I did buy some stacks of paper that, like, coordinations and that kind of stuff. So never mind. I did buy paper. Boo. Um, yeah, I have a paper thing. I have to do better at that. One year I went on a ban of snowflake stamps. Yeah, paper is nice. I went on a ban of snowflake stamps because I live in Texas, people. I don't need snowflake stamps. I have a lot more than the average person should have of snowflake stamps. I have a lot of snowflake stamps, and I live in Texas. So, yeah. But they're so pretty, and I like them. And they like me. They say to me, "Don't you love us? We're snowflake stamps." And I say, "Yes, yes I do. I do love you. You need to be part of me." Okay. But see, this paper, I didn't buy this paper. I got this paper out of my stash, so that's a good thing. I'm using Mod Podge to put on my paper because I like Mod Podge. I know Amanda thinks Mod Podge smells, but I like it. And I'm trying to use up some things that I have on hand. And this jar of Mod Podge just has a little bit left in it. And so I'd like to use it up. Okay. Last night I had left my brayer over in the shelf. And so when I went to do that, I was like going, "Where's my brayer?" Well, I ended up doing that. So, anyway, there's that side. I really like the way that green really works with that, I think. I think they look good together. I love this piece of paper. It makes me very happy. I'm glad it could be with me in my journal. See, I have all these yummy, scrumptious basic gray papers. And some of them I scrapbook with because I love to scrapbook and they look wonderful. But some of them, they just make me happy and I don't want to use them because I don't, like this paper, I don't think I can get Gypsy anymore. I think it's a discontinued one. I can't remember. But although some of them they bring back from time to time. So I would want it on something that I got to see and that was close to me that I like to use. Just like a book I made for my mom. One of her favorite paper packs from Basic Gray is Color Me Silly. And I did her book with Color Me Silly so that she could always have that set of paper near her because that's her favorite. Okay. Thanks, Dawn. Mom was shopping with the kids while she has them to get presents for Bill and I. And Sam kept latching on to everything pink and saying, "Oh, that's Mommy's favorite color." And she would remind her, "No, Sam, that's your favorite color." And so, yeah, they were having quite the fun day of it yesterday. She was surprised to learn that green is really Mommy's favorite color. So, I really liked that page. That's going to be fun. I don't know if I'm going to journal on that or art on that or are wet, but I like how those two came together. So, gonna let this one rest. Green is the best color, especially for a journal that's gonna be, you know, of a green theme. I think it's a rockin' way to go. Okay, here we have another one. I'm not going to, you know, I just put paper here, so this one's gonna have paint on it, instead of worrying about doing the more paper there. So probably a color you'll never see in my stuff is orange. I'm not a very orange kind of girl. You'll see lots of pinks and greens and purples and blue even, but maybe even red. But I'm not a not an orange girl. So we're working on February, Marchish kind of times. Y'all will be happy to know I just gessoed my face. So everybody should paint themselves while they're painting. It makes it better. Alright? You've warmed up to orange overtime? Yeah. My friend Sigrid says that I should love yellow more than I do, but I just can't go there. I like yellow even less than orange. I'm all about the blue, purple, green factor. So, I need to remember to put put a lid on this. I came in this morning and big sigh. Oh, there was an ad. Susan, are you still with us? Hello, Susan. Ah, you're back. Yeah, I walked in this morning. Okay, there you are. Just checking on you, honey. You had said you were sleepy earlier, so I didn't want you to fall asleep at your keyboard. I walked in. Ooh, laptop was hot. Okay. I walked in and I had left the lid off the Mod Podge. As you see, it did not, you know, it did not have a problem. You did fall asleep, didn't you? I'm recording this, Susan, so if you want to go to bed, you can. Tomorrow, my show will be at 8 p.m. Central, 8 to 10. And it'll be same bat channel. Only for 5 minutes. Okay. So, but I mean, if y'all are good, I'm still good to go for at least another. I'd like to go at least till midnight. Actually, I will probably continue to paint once y'all leave, because I'm having fun. Now, see, when I like pink, this is the pink I like. I love this bright pink. But like I was saying earlier, I'm very excited to get really going inside this book other than just doing what I'm doing now, because as soon as I get this part done, I will know that it's my creative space, my space to organize. I think organizing is a creativity of its own venue, because I mean, I know a lot of people say that an organized space is a sign of, a boring person or whatever, but everybody's organized in their own way. Like some people, the rest of their house may not have any kind of organization, but they have the most awesome cabinets in their kitchen. You know, the way they do their, yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry your back is sore, Dawn. Yes, go rest your back. Like I said, I'm recording, and I will be here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. But, you know, their kitchen cabinets may be a piece of artwork because they have all of their, you know, can labels turned a certain way, or they may have all of their dishes matching, or they have all of their spices and stuff organized and all that. Night, Dawn. And they may, you know, that is their organization, but the rest of their house may look like holy heck chaos. But you know, they're creative in how they arrange their kitchen. So, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I think organization, you know, this is where my calendar is going to be. It's creative. It's organization of my life. You know, my closet may be holy heck chaos, but my date planner will be creatively organized. See, while I'm doing this, I could meditate on it while I'm doing this, saying, you know, my year will be bountiful. My year will be productive. It would be good to know what my word of the year was going to be, so I could say over and over again, you know, my year is going to be this, or, you know, I'm going to finish. You know, that kind of thing. Are you going to, Susan? Or are you still staying for a little bit? Hello. Okay. But you know what I mean? Painting with your intent of what you're going to, you know, put into your journal, what you expect to get out of it. You know, I expect to be organized. I expect to be on time to things that I'm doing. I expect to, you know, stay on top of all of my children's events. Yeah. I use a program online called Calendars Quick. It's at calendarsquick.com. And the reason I use that is because I can share it with my parents. Like, I have a calendar for the kids there, and I can share a link to it with my parents so that they can see what the kids' schedules are. And then I also have a special setup for my design team work and my post things. so that I can keep up with my stuff on my blog, so people can have, an idea of, oh, we can expect a Crafty Ribbons post coming in 2 weeks, or, oh yeah, Leslie Wright's stream is this day, or, oh yeah, she's going to be here doing this, or whatever, and I can have that for them, that I don't have to update it in one spot and then go update it on my blog. I can just provide them with the link, and when I go in and do my work on my calendar there, then it's automatically done. I don't have to go back to my blog and do it there too. And I really like that. So I really enjoy teaching on this venue now that rarely anymore am I doing a live class, but I have a lot of people here this year that are like, when are you going to teach a class? And wanting me to teach a live class again with them. And I keep telling them, twice a week or twice a month, I do this, so come play with me. And I've only had a couple of them, do that. Did you go check it out? The calendar's quick. It is very handy. I love it. That was probably one of the best things I found a couple of years ago. And I've got like all my kids and my family members' birthdays in there and all that kind of stuff, and it automatically does it for me without any problems. And then I can print it in so many different venues. Like, if I didn't have this, I could print it to go in a planner. Or, usually what I do is I print it out for my son, all of his stuff, so he can carry it around in his notebook. So when somebody says, what are you doing next weekend or whatever, he's got it, He knows, oh, I'm going camping, or no, I'm going here, or whatever. So I like the different, I can do it as there's like one calendar in there that has a place where I can do meal planning as well, so I can print it out, and then, so I know what nights we're going to be at Scouts, or what nights we're going to be doing this, or when I have a deadline for a project and I need to be on it. I have all that information right there, and on that calendar that's going to end up on my refrigerator wall. So anybody can take care of supper that night or whatever. I'll have all of that written, okay, this is, this night, and Will has 4-H, or, this night we're going to be at such and such. And that's especially important, like, this next month. Oh my goodness. I have 4 gajillion, covered dish supper things that we're doing. So having in mind, like, I was going to the grocery store on Wednesday. As you read, I had such a brilliant time at the grocery store on Wednesday. But on Wednesday, before I was going to the grocery store, I was making my list. And last week, or the week before, I guess the week before, everything I bought for the grocery was brand new. We had never had it before. We had never had, all these different casseroles, and I did several casseroles. Never had that before. Brand new meal. And I wanted to, I just felt like we were in a food rut. I wanted to try something new. So another very, very cool place to go if you like recipes is called plainchicken.com. Plain, plain, as in ordinary. And oh my goodness, that lady has some amazing recipes. Everything I've tried, we adore. We adore it completely. So I had found more food, because I asked, my husband, what did you like? What did you not like? And everything he loved, everything my kids loved. So, found some more food that we loved, printed out about 5 more recipes. And so I start making my list around all of these recipes. Well, okay. I'd already planned to make gumbo tonight, so that's at least 2 to 3 meals because gumbo grows. So I'm saying it's probably at least 3 meals. So we have gumbo. Then we also have Thanksgiving leftovers because, even though we didn't have Thanksgiving today, still having Thanksgiving with the fam when my mom and dad bring the kids back home. She'll bring the turkey and the dressing, or the dressing that is the chicken and dumpling casserole. That sounds good. Mom will bring home, the kids, and she'll bring home the cornbread dressing, and she'll bring home some vegetables and that kind of stuff. And I'm making a dessert and some other sides, and we'll have gob o' food. So that'll be probably easily 2 meals, easily beyond the meal that we're already eating. So if you add that up, that'll be like 6 meals. So really didn't need to go buy food for 5 other meals on top of that. So, as I was making this list, I go back and cross back off everything. Ever had stuffing and scrambled eggs? No, I have not, but that sounds fun because I love like bread stuffing, bread dressing. Yum, yum, yum. Today, what I made, I did get in one quick meal because, you got to eat breakfast, right? So I did this thing, and I'm not sure if I saw that on Plain Chicken or not. I didn't even print the recipe off because I just winged it. Where you take biscuits and you flatten them out and you put them in the muffin tin flat. You add a little bit of egg and a little bit of cheese, and then you put some partially cooked bacon on top of it, and you bake that in the oven. And if you're a fan of like fried eggs, over easy or whatever, yes, winged recipes are the best. If you're a fan of, runny egg centers with, oh my goodness, these were amazing. And I would never have guessed because I remember the recipe, it called for 3 eggs and a little bit of cheese, a can of biscuits, and a couple of pieces of bacon. And so you're thinking, oh, that's not going to be enough food, whatever. I ate 3 of them, and I was stuffed. And my husband ate the rest of the biscuits, and he was just like, I may explode. That's why we didn't eat tonight. I'll probably go in and make a little gumbo for myself in a bowl, because I don't put the shrimp in there just yet, because I don't want it to get rubbery. I'll pull out a little bit and heat it up and put my shrimp in then, and have fresh shrimp in there every time. So, but I'll probably make a little bowl of that when I'm done, just to have some. But oh my goodness, that was so yummy. And I can't decide if we're gonna, tomorrow, I have some butter braids in the freezer. I may thaw one of those out and we'll have that. Yeah, it cooks really fast. Really, really fast. So, it's like, however long your biscuits take to cook, that's about how long it took to cook. Just canned biscuits. Yum. And if you don't do canned biscuits, if you're one of those purists that have to roll out your biscuits, well, however long your rolled out biscuits cook. Ah, commercial. Smart mouth. But like I was saying, however long your biscuits cook, if you're, I know some of my friends don't do canned biscuits. They're like, oh, how could you? Well, you know, smart mouth. If you don't do canned biscuits and you do, you know, hand rolled out biscuits, however long those take to cook is how long it takes to cook. Cooks really fast. I love how paint changes the color as it dries. And you can see it go dry. You don't want to get it on too thick, because then it's a Marvy. Here. Mom carries them in her store. Yeah, I used to have an old one that, oh my god, it was like a train, you know, going through your crafting area. Yeah, that's the one I had. Was the old mauve Marvy. I finally wore it out, and a couple of years ago, just before I was supposed to do a class, and we were going to be doing a gob of heat embossing, and I got this one, and I was just, it's night and day how much quieter it is. So, alright, so this is still drying here, and like when I touch it, it's damp, because the, you know, the glue is drying on the back of this page here, and so this is still damp, and this is kind of damp on the side from all the paint I put on there. So skip a page, go to the next page, and this one I'm just going to put gesso on there. Just going to make it white. Yeah, I guess they are kind of tropical, aren't they? Except for I don't have any orange or yellow in there, right? There's no blue in there. So, not yet. Well, there won't be orange and yellow. You slept through that part. I'm not a orange or yellow girl. I just really don't do orange and yellow. But I do those things that you do so well. Let's put another element here for doing Zentangling. Do we want another circle? Or do we want to go with a... I guess if I can't find my square tile, we won't go with a square tile, will we? That was over here by my project that I was working on. I don't see it. There's my circle. There's my circle. Oh, yeah, the teal. Yeah, I would do the teal. I totally would do the teal. Actually, let's paint this a color. Let's see. Do I have any teal paint? Teal would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? I don't have teal, but let's do this. Let's mix some blue. And green. Yeah. Ooh. Last night when I was painting, I accidentally got gesso on my husband's shirt. And of course, the first thing he sees this morning, he's like, "What did you get on my shirt?" I said, gesso. I can get it out, I promise. Yeah. It wouldn't be so bad, except for it's his blue sweatshirt that sometimes he, like, needs for work. So, whoa. I can get it out. I know I can get it out. I'm not committed to this color. Let's see what this does on the page. Oh no, it's getting better. It's getting better. What's funny is the colors I've used, the pinks and stuff, my water is totally orange. Look. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it kind of looks gray, but it's kind of a aqua-y, kind of greeny blue color. It's really kind of pretty. Let's paint with it, shall we? Ready? Yeah, it's not bad at all, really. I'm as surprised as you are. Got a little bit of water going across that, though. I guess when I put that, I sloshed. It's almost a cadet blue kind of color. It's really kind of pretty. Ah, the green gloves. I started these and I explained to Amanda how nice they were. Both Amanda and I have real hard time with our hands, just from overuse, you know, possibly carpal tunnel, arthritis, that kind of stuff. And in fact, I think Amanda was telling me before she had the gloves on, because of overuse of her hand, she had no feeling in part of her hand for a long, long time. And so I had gotten these because, like, if I do certain projects, especially if, like, for instance, if I make homemade spaghetti and I cut, my hands will start cramping up, and then I may not be able to use my hands for a week, you know, for anything other than, you know, some simple things. Typing will hurt, you know, they'll just hurt like mad, like crazy. And so I got these to try. And of course the first test was, well, let's make some spaghetti and see what happens. And I wore my gloves while I was making spaghetti, and they did great. They kept my hands kind of warm. And they're compression glove. You want to make sure if you get some. These are by a company called Dritz. It's called, and that's their Creative Comfort line. And I think they have a different brand, maybe at Walmart. I'm not sure, but they only came in green. I got these at where do you call them? Yeah. try these. These are amazing. She put them on and now she can feel her hand. And she hadn't felt it for years. Parts of her hand she hadn't felt for years. And I can do something that normally would put my hands out of commission. Like for instance today, making gumbo. You know, I stood there and stirred. My husband cut the veg and the ham for me to get it, you know, so I didn't have to do that. But you have to stir gumbo constantly to get that roux, you know, the right color. And I did that for, I probably did that roux for close to 30, 40 minutes. And then, you know, added in the onion and stirred it and kept it from sticking. And, you know, keeping everything stirring and sticking. I probably stood a total of like an hour stirring. And normally that would have made my hands unusable for the rest of the weekend. So, when I started wearing these, they were a miracle. And I told Amanda about them, and she got her a pair. And she, you know, swears by them. Mine are, you know, grody right now. I'll put them in the washer, and they'll perk back up. But I really need to get a second pair so that I have one that I use for, like, cooking, and then one that I use for just crafting. That would be ideal. But, yeah, I swear by them. That's saved my hands on many occasions. And especially like right now when I'm doing lots of crafting and lots of cooking both. Last Christmas, oy vey. My poor hands. I could not tell you how horrible. Yeah, it's maddening to type. And, or like, especially when I was working on my master's thesis. I would type until I couldn't feel my pinkies anymore. And it's just crazy how hard, you know, your hands go to. But I used to have a job as a graphic artist too. And yeah, all the computer work you do. Yeah, I bet. I think that would be a fun job. Get into printers. Ah, thank you. I love these colors. And see, I put a little bit of this green in the color, so it goes really well. Yeah, when I went to the University of North Texas, and they're a big, huge art school, and they have a phenomenal ad department area. And when I graduated from there in '92. So, you know, nearly 20 years ago. They were just bringing in computerizing the graphic arts. They were still doing it all by hand. And I can remember my friend who was a graphic arts designer major doing all that Greeking work by hand. And oh my goodness. I loved her handwriting. Yeah, which of course it's impeccable. You know, all of my friends who were graphic artist majors, their handwriting was just phenomenally beautiful. And, but yeah, hand creaking. I can remember going, you know, wow. Yeah, oh, I was always amazed. She was one of the first people I ever wanted to write like. She had beautiful handwriting, and we sat in art history class together, and I would just sit there and just watch her write her notes and think, wow, I want to do that. And then she told me how she had learned how to do that, and I went to watch her one day in class. It was amazing. My degree was in art history, but I have a fine arts degree, which means I had to do all the art, 1 and 2, design 1 and 2, figure 1 and 2, do painting, do something sculptural or 3D, so I did ceramic. And yeah, I had so much fun in those classes. Loved them to death. And I had taken art history 1 and 2, the surveys, before I took art appreciation. And before I had changed my major. So I all of a sudden had to go back and take art appreciation, so I can appreciate Amanda having to get upset about having to go back and to do a class in freshman orientation. I mean, taking art appreciation after you've taken a couple of years, a couple semesters of art history is kind of like the same thing. Why they made you do Greeking? Probably because that was the old school way to do it, so you could appreciate where you had come from. Now they just have you put in the ad valorem text, don't they? You don't appreciate it? Yeah, computers. I mean, I can remember. Yeah, we had just a little bitty, and it was like avant-garde at the time we had it. This computer lab, and because North Texas they spared no expense on their art department, never have, and yeah, it was amazing. And I can remember people going in there, and I'd go in there and kind of watch and see what they were doing, but no one needs a business card greet. Well, they might. You never know. Well, now I know, like, I always watch the Staples ads for when they have 100 free business cards or whatever. Now they do everything on the computer. You order it, they print it straight off of there because it's tied into their desktop publishing program. And, yeah, it's crazy. So, I do the cards for our travel agency. And we print them on a lightweight photo paper. And yeah, we can use a photo quality picture. It's really fun. This last set I had gotten from my mom a punchy, like a EK Success punch that has a sand pail and a shovel on it. And so we found a cardstock that or not cardstock, but a photo to use as our background that was like shells and sand. And then we put our information over the top of it, and I made it just a little bit taller than a regular business card so that we could come back in and punch out the shovel and pails and stuff across the top. It's very fun. And definitely if you put your name in for a drawing at one of the trade shows or whatever, it's gonna grab some attention there. But also, it fits nicely in people's envelopes. And since a lot of our travel business is either cruising or trips to Mexico, Jamaica, the Caribbean, that kind of thing, it's rather unique and kind of, get you noticed. That's why I love working for my boss. She lets me be my creative, crafty self, and she appreciates it. I've had bosses that didn't, and fortunately, she's not one of those. She's She's very thankful for my creative, crafty self. So, that's a good thing. You got married in Jamaica? Where did you get married? What part? Some people definitely don't get it. And they don't get that you have children. They don't get that too. Oh, couples luxurious. Very nice. Did you stay in one of the higher end rooms so that you don't have children? Well, if and when you ever do, it's nice to work for someone who gets your need to be a mommy, you know? For instance, this week, um, you know, had projects with my daughter at her school, had projects with my son at his school, and I was able to do both and work and, you know, do creative, crafty things at work as well. You know, working on my trees and stuff. But my favorite thing about my boss, I've said this before and I'll say it again, is that when I'm doing something with her and even if it's take out the trash, you know, it needs to be done. It's a job. It all pays the same. When I do it, she says thank you every time. Every single time. Without fail. And to me, being appreciated and acknowledged in that manner is awesome. It's very rare. And, you know, she appreciates my job and she says thank you. And I appreciate that in her because I think it's very cool. And see, also, as you get to know me, you'll know that I'm quite the nerd. Originally went to school to be a teacher, and I was doing art and math. And I love math. I love dealing with math and everything about it. I also love doing computers. The only thing is, when I went to school for computers, our computer class that we had to take, we learned basic and basic programming. We didn't do, you know, Word. Well, Windows was not even an option at that point. It was all, you know, still DOS based and all that stuff. And you found the club, right? You're a nerd too? Awesome. So, you know, coming from that background, all these things, the changes that computers have made over the years is just amazing. I mean, when I started working 20 years ago after I got married, was as Windows 3.11 was conceived, and it was like your bi-platform. And you know, I worked on that. I worked on, you know, the old Apple computers that were all in like one little cubey little box and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's just crazy how much, you know, my son grew up literally sitting at the keyboard, and it's amazing. I got rid of that just simply because I'm trying not to be a hoarder, but I have two older computers that I'm fixing to see if the memory will work together. So, yeah, it's good to be a nerd. It's fun. So, yes, we all can agree that Windows 95 was the hugest mistake ever. Really made you go to a Mac. I still don't want to have a Mac. Amanda and Fab both have Macs and swear by them and love them. Um, I love my PC. I get way cool results out of my PC. Um, and I will continue to be a PC person. But I do appreciate a good Mac. When I was doing graphic artist work before my son was born, we had a Mac. It was one of the first Macs that was where your files could be shared. When it no, actually, when it dies, I'll just go with another PC. But so I promise you, I will be a PC person. Yeah, I will scrapbook 8.5 by 11. Yeah, I still get my film camera out occasionally and take pictures and no pressure. Yeah, I love my PC. I see the relevance and importance of Mac, but I also love my PC. So, but anyway, oh, I got to design this really cool database. And what I ended up doing was I found a contact database that works really cool for calls. And then I've put in other tables and made it function as a really cool way for us to track stuff. And so I'm very excited about that. I was playing with that before we left for the holiday. So I'll be excited to get back to that and get it all finished, adding in the stuff we need and that kind of thing. Your computers are your children. Yeah. It took people a while to realize that when I said I can fix it, that, you know, I can figure out what the problem is, like if they got a virus or whatever, or a Trojan, you know, I knew how to fix it. Because I had worked for IT and I had paid attention and came out the other side. And there's rarely times when that I am stumped with my computer. And when that occurs, I call my friends from IT and say, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've tried. Because nobody on the other end realizes that you are, you know, good at what you're saying you're doing. I think the first time I've ever had a customer service person that troubleshot with me, yeah, most of the time it is user error. I've never had a customer service problem or a person that's ever troubleshooted with me. Believe me when I said, you know, I've done all this. You know, I've troubleshot this and this and this and this and this. They, you know, the first time that has ever occurred where I didn't have to explain something was with the Logitech people and when I was having camera issues. Hi, Dainty Diva. Welcome. Who is Dainty Diva? I'm not familiar with you, Dainty Diva. The first person that I worked with, Susan, was not. They were definitely Indian. But he listened to me and he could see that I, you know, had half a brain cell. The second person is, they're on my viewers. If you click on the person down there at the bottom above the send button, there's like a little cog and there's a person. Click on the person, you can see who is in the room with us. And it's you and Dainty Diva. Oh, the commercial went really loud? Yeah. Sometimes those are obnoxious. I know. Especially like if I'm listening to Amanda, apparently I speak louder than Amanda, but when I'm listening to Amanda, I have to get my volume turned up so I can hear her because she's usually trying to speak low because her kids are asleep. And thank you. So I have my volume turned up so I can hear her. And then all of a sudden, whammo, comes a commercial. And I'm like going, oh crap, I tried to get it turned down. So I'm glad I don't listen with headphones for her string because, wow, that would hurt. Yeah, whammo. So, I know, I can't wait. This is further in the book. I can't wait to do this page when I get to this month. This will be a good thinking page. I still have some of that paint left. I think I'm going to go do that on another page. I'm going to dry this one and maybe do another page like this in another part of the book. A little different, but, you know. I know. I love that yellow or green around it. It's not yellow, it's green. But, yes, I have, actually. Used whatever I have around me. Used all kind of different tools. Just fun. I have some sponges that I got at the Dollar Tree somewhere. Probably in a closet. Yeah, exactly. You were a circle coaster. Dreaming of the Dollar Tree. Don't you have to go to work in the morning? That's still wet right there. Well, here, we'll finish this page up. Oh, whenever you show up. Okay. You run the digital press. Cool. What I want, last time I went to Staples and looked at the print center, what I really want is one of those cutters that'll cut like, well, it won't cut a whole ream, but it'll cut several hundred sheets of cardstock at a time. I think that would be uber cool to have. Just saying. Yes. There are things that I've wanted to cut, you know, all at once. I think they charge like a couple of dollars a cut. And, yeah. I bet they're very expensive. That's why they charge a couple of dollars a cut. I really kind of like how that turned out. Let's see. This is how it's facing you is the correct way. So, that's kind of fun. See, you could do, you know, cut up your Martha Stewart magazines. You could make an idea book out of your favorite Martha things, you know. Nah, I'm not going to do it that close to that one. Let's see. Let's go further in the back here. I'm going to do another one back here. Let's see. Only this time we'll put the circle over here. Yeah, you cut the spine off the whole thing. Martha Stewart Massacre. Well, see, I had a friend that I got a whole bunch of magazines from, and I got into the habit of scanning things, and I just love to scan. I'm really kind of digging how this art paper is looking. See, you could make yourself a book of what you've saved and kind of organize it and categorize it out of another something that you've saved so that you know, greening it up. You want to keep talking for just a little bit longer, or you want me to shut this off so you can go to bed? Because I'll keep you... I want to use that paint before it dries. I don't want to put this in the refrigerator. Okay. You have to make a peace offering to your husband for your 65-gallon recycling bin. Does he have something that's his favorite thing to collect or whatever? Because you could make him a thing out of this. You know, you could find a smaller book. And if he likes, you know, certain quotes or... Yeah, maybe he's a griller. His hobby is secretly getting rid of your stuff. Okay. Well, tell him by making him a book, you are helping to, you know, use the stuff. How about that? Well, at least he's not completely secretly getting rid of your stuff, you know. Or maybe you weren't supposed to know. Oh, no. I hate it when you know every time. See, I'm the worst. I go through moments of where I need to, you know, purge or whatever. And I'll get rid of stuff. And when my husband and I were dating, some of the stuff he would find interesting. He's afraid now. I'd be afraid too if every time you got rid of something, you're like, okay, where is this again? But, and so when he would take my stuff, and so when I got married to him, you know, after 5 years of dating, all of a sudden I re-inherited all my stuff. And I was just like, really? I got rid of this once already. And so it's taken me a while, but I've gotten through it again. And then, to make matters worse, yeah, we moved down here. We got married. We moved down here. And his mom, as she would get tired of her hobbies, she would send stuff down to me. And so then I would have her stuff to sort through. And I'm like, really? Am I the sorter of the family or what? So it was crazy, you know, getting through all that stuff. But we have managed. Occasionally I'll get someone adding to my chaos, but most of my friends know better. Anything good? Some things are good. For instance, she quit quilting. and I had over 6 paper boxes full of quilt books, and then probably close to 20 boxes of fabric. And some of these were antique patterns, either reproduction or original, you know, just various things. And I stored it in my storage building for a long time. And but I was needing to get out of my storage building. I got tired of paying rent on space that was just full of stuff that I was not accessing. And so what I did, because currently I don't quilt, but she used to teach classes in quilting and stuff. That's why she had all this stuff. That, and she, when she gets interested in something, she goes way overboard and just buys and gets tons of things and that kind of stuff. So what I did is I went through, because, you know, quilting is on my list of to-dos one day. Just have never had time to do it currently. And so I went through any books that I thought I would ever use, I kept for myself. And then anything, oh cool, this is bubbling. Well, we won't be zentailing on this, but we'll be doing something fun with it because it's bubbling, because I wasn't paying attention and moving it. But anything that I would ever use for myself, I kept and still have. And we're talking maybe a dozen books is what I kept. I kept some stuff that has all kinds of cool embroidery stitches. She had a piece of Pandau, and I kept that, a book about that to go with it. And she had given Will, when he was born, a Pandau pillow cover that was in the colors of his room. And I kept, you know, just a couple of things about crazy quilting, because that's really what I can see myself doing, is crazy quilting, because it's very artsy and very fun and very multimedia and stuff. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lisa Fulmer with C&T Publishing. She used to have a little show that she did every Wednesday night, and she always had wonderful quilt artists, and I enjoy watching people talk about quilting. I'm just not ready to quilt yet. So she is a trip. I totally miss her shows. But so she inspires me to quilt one day. But for now, I will just collect stuff. And so then also, what I did with the rest of the books is, at the time I worked for a library, but my boss was not very good about dealing with donations, especially such as that, because she herself was a quilter, and she would probably have hoarded quite a few of the books. And I had several friends who were quilters, and so I asked them if I could take those and donate them to the local quilt guild, and not for remuneration or anything like that, just give them to them so that they could put them in their collection and use. So I went to another one of my friends who was a quilter with the Quilt Guild, and I told her, keep whatever you want for yourself, but, please pass the rest on to the Quilt Guild. And so that was what was done, and so they were all added to the Quilt Guild library. And so they can be loved by some, ladies who would use them. And so actually, a lot of them were donated, because, like I said, there was a buttload of them. And whatever the librarian at the time for the Quilt Guild decided needed to go into the collection went into the collection. The rest were for them to purchase. They had like a silent auction purchase type thing. and that they do annually, and they were where they could purchase them, and the money for that went towards their charity that they do. So I was cool with that. And so then I did the same thing kind of with the fabric, because I am a crafter, there's lots of fabrics that I would really like. And so I kept several of the fabrics that I would use and still use. I haven't hardly touched anything. And then because I wanted to do crazy quilts, one of the things Phil's mom always had talked about was doing crazy quilts with these silk ties, and she had collected quite a number of them. And so I kept those because, one, it reminded me of her. That was one of the conversations we had had at length. But also, I kept them because there are a number that she hadn't already opened up. And so, like recently, when I found this really cute craft idea using a tie and making it into a little wrist purse, I had some ties. And so I pulled some of these ties out so that I could work on that project. And it's very fun. I like having that kind of a stash that I can go to. So, even though, you know, she's estranged from our family at this point in our lives, there are memories and things that I want my kids to remember from her, and, you know, that's one of them. So, yeah, I try to have cool ideas occasionally. And so, that was one thing. She was big into herbal remedies and homeopathic medicines. I got a complete collection of herbs and stuff for that. She was into scrapbooking and stamping. My sister-in-law, because I have so many things that would be repeated by her, I've got a lot of that stuff, which is fine and dandy. And then what my sister-in-law didn't want, she brought to my mom and I, and things that I didn't have, that I wanted, I kept. And things that were, again, duplicates and stuff, I am passing on to people who could use them. But the leftover fabric, all that fabric that I went through, what I didn't use or want, I gave, again, to the Quilt Guild for them to use for projects. And one of the things they do is they have a project where they make quilts for the foster home kids. And so a lot of those went to that. So I was very pleased that that got done for that. Then when my grandmother died, I inherited all of her yarn and crochet stuff. And so I went through it. My son was talking. He was like, well, I'd like a blanket made out of whatever. And a lot of this yarn was old Sayel worsted weight yarn. And some of the stuff she had enough skeins to do something with, you know. Thank you. She had quite a few skeins and things to do something with. But the problem is if I made the quilt too big or whatever, then all of a sudden we're stuck with all of this stuff, right? Or we don't have trouble matching a dye lot or whatever. And rather than settling for something, I wanted my son to be able to, you know, have his heart's desire. Not just settle because that's what we had, but if I'm going to, you know, spend the time to crochet him a blanket, let's have your heart's desire, what you really want. So, because then you'll really use it. So what I did is I went through, and things that would make a cool fiber to use for scrapbooking or, you know, arting, I kept. And then things that I knew I would never ever use, I put in bags. And I had, I think, 5, maybe 33-gallon leaf bags full of yarn. And coincidentally, the person who I took all this stuff to for the Quilt Guild, her husband does crocheting. And he crochets baby blankets for the Unwed Mothers charity. I think the Catholic Church deals with that group of young ladies. And then it's a little more blue in it. And yeah, really. And then he also crochets Afghans for veterans. And so, you know, obviously he could use all of the big stuff. And so I took it to him. I told him, you know, please, you know, put this to good use. Don't feel like you need to, you know, make mention of me at all. That's not what this is about. Just, you know, use what you can and what you can't, you know, pass on to someone you think you could. And he was like, okay. And so he came to me about a month later. He had finished his first blanket for the for one of the veterans. And he said, well, this is what I did, and this is who I gave it to. And I put a note in there, you know, because he asked me, you know, if somebody asks, can I put who it's from? And I said, well, put it from the Harris family, which is my dad's, you know, name, and my grandmother's name. And so, so that's what they did. They did it from the Harris family. And he told me it's because what he does is he gives it to a lady that gives it to the veterans so that it's not coming directly from him. And it's kind of neat because some of the people that get him are like his actual friends. And so he'll come in to visit them or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, come look at this quilt such and such gave me. And, you know, it's his quilt. So it's really kind of cool. It's very poignant that, you know, he gets to see, you know, how excited they are about his work. So I'm glad I gave that a good home. That turned out to be a really good home for those. And of course, you know, it's those are worthy causes. So that's what I do when I'm given something. I take what I think I will use, and whatever I don't use, I gets to secretly be proud. And he's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. That was really nice, you know. And so that's what I try to do anyway. Give back. I really, really, really believe that, you know, what you give, you get back tenfold, you know? It just happens that way. Whenever I need something, you know, people are there for me because of what I've put out in the universe. So I am having fun with this. I'm enjoying this very much. It's very addictive to sit down and start just painting. I mean, you know, even this is just basic. I know it's not gonna, you know, this is all I'm gonna do to this page tonight. But I'm gonna come back to it and I'm gonna, you know, art more on it later. And it'll be beautiful. It'll be ready for art. Or, yeah, something art related. Use up some of this too. This is why last night when it was just me. You're going to case Amanda's project? Oh, with the glass? Yeah, that was very cool. That was a great idea. I have a ton of little, what do you call them? Picture frames that I have bought. Last year, I bought a bunch about this time of the year. And painting glass is questionable. You can do it. I think you can do it. A bunch of picture frames, and I am going to do some tangling in them for a project. I was going to do it last year for Christmas project. Didn't get it done. But then this year, while I was arting around and went to Staples for one of my many pilgrimages to Staples, because I love Staples. I could live at Staples. They have art supplies and office supplies at Staples. Staples is my people. Anyway, I went around one of the end caps, and they had all of these picture frames on sale for like 50 cents. Nice picture frames. Big picture frames that were, you know, up to like 8.5 by 11, but they also had 5 by 7s and 4 by 6s, and yes, exactly. And I think I spent a total of $8 or $10, but I walked away with a bunch of picture frames. And so those are all in my closet. So I have those to contend with. But I found a really cool project, and definitely one that I'm going to do for the family. Is it had taking 7 of the picture frames, and underneath you put, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in each picture frame on a piece of colored, it's dry. On a piece of colored or, you know, cool looking scrapbook paper. And we've already, you know, discussed the fact that I have scrapbook paper. And, oh, look at the kitty. Okay, we're not going to do that one tonight, but I didn't want this one too close. But see how that bubbled earlier? The white kind of bubbled. Can you see it? Yeah, he is a keeper. I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to worry about that. I enjoy that texture. So, let's get back over here. See where we were. We were here. There we are. That's where we came from. Oh, I didn't go back around my circle, did I? Let's go back around our circle. I almost forgot. Yeah. But, so I have those. But anyway, the way this worked, this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday thing, is they had the individual frames. They put the paper in them with the dates of the week on them. And then, make sure that didn't go on him. No, it didn't. He is so precious. Okay. And then, they took that, kind of welded them together so that the frames are going every which way. And then you use a write-on wipe-off marker to write, like, you know, scouts, 4-H club meeting, after school, doctor's appointment, you know, that kind of stuff on there. So each week, your family calendar is right there. I thought, genius. That is so cool. Stealing that. So, you know, now I have stuff to do that with, right? And then, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. I try not to do the pages with the scrapbook paper too often because I don't want to wear that idea out. No, you keep the glass on there. Oh yeah, you could use chalkboard paint. That is true. You could do that. That is Yeah, exactly. I'll put this piece of paper in between just to keep that from sticking until it completely dries. Let's see if I have any more of those. I need to do that too. But yeah, I like the dry erase idea. I so need to get me some chalkboard paint, because there was an idea of doing this is sticking, and the reason this one is sticking is because I used an enamel gloss paint in there, and that's making that one stick a little, but it'll be okay. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Let's use this flowery one, because we should be starting to get into not ready for flowers just yet. Let's see. Here we have I really like that stripe. Yes. Yeah, wax paper. I'll put wax paper between them when I get up to close it for the night. This is Gypsy. I like the stripes. I'll use the stripes on this one. And I want the stripes to go up and down, not that way. I need to go up and down. So I need to remember that when I cut this piece of paper. It's 9 that way. Yep, okay. So we have my Coral Boston or Quartet cutter here. It's seen better day. By Orange Floral, right? You know me so well already. It's just not going to happen in this book. We cannot have Orange Floral in this book. So. Well, we'll have some flowers in a minute, but I want it to be closer to March, April, before I start sticking flowers in there. So for right now, we're going to go with this pretty strap, because it's so pretty. See, and that beautiness? Yes. I think that's gorgeous. And look, it's using that beautiful red, so we may have to put some red in there. I think. Maybe. Because we haven't painted anything red in here. And that blue is almost that blue that we were using. Isn't that interesting? That blue. This blue right here. This darker blue on the side. Isn't that cool? But we're not going to use it. We're going to use red. Because we haven't used red. And red, well, red is red. It is a coincidence. It's subconscious. Let's see. Get some red in here, maybe. Your mind is blank. What does that mean? Is that a good thing? Oh, we lost our diva. I guess we bored her. For which project? Oh, your US project? how does that project go? What are you supposed to do for that? Like, do you have to follow a sketch, or... Okay. So, describe the sketch. You get a sketch, and you can make anything with it. Describe the sketch to me. Ugh. What do you mean, ugh? No ugh. Just describe the sketch. You know, it's got a circle at the top. It is a circle. What? That's not your favorite? I'm sorry. Is it on your phone? That's why you're saying ugh? Oh, you can. Well, you know, if you had it in front of you, it might help you think about what you should be doing. Oh, is that bad? Well, I like this red. This is a cool red. What color red? This is apple red from Folk Art. It's very red. Do you have to do a theme too, or just the sketch? Okay. Yeah, birthday card would be cool. Ew, we should have done gesso on this red. This red is very transparent. It's the difference between Ceramcoat and Folk Art. I miss Folk Art or Ceramcoat being at our store. I mean, Folk Art is nice and all, but it has a level of transparency that is not always conducive to what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Yeah, I hate it when you usually have like this idea and it's just awesome, but when you have no idea whatsoever, it's like, ugh. No, it's just regular Folk Art apple red. So it's got a transparency to it that I don't like. I'll have to do another coat on there before I'm happy with it. Yeah, it does look shiny, but I think it's just because it's red in the camera. See, it's drying down there. I'm going to hit it with the dryer here in a second. Kind of get some dry going on it so it'll Let me put another coat, because one coat is not going to make me happy. Simple but odd shapes. There you go. Do an altered notebook. Another one. So come on, describe the card, the sketch. See if we can make it work for a birthday card. It's a vertical shape. Okay. About 1.5 band going down the left edge. So it's stripy. So it's long and skinny and has a stripy, and then it's intersected at the top with a 1-inch band. And then about 2 inches. So it looks kind of plaid-like. Right? Yeah, like a wonky H. Just squares. Can the squares be popped up like they're in front of the bands? Like on foam squares or something? So how many squares do you, or how many in the bottom on the left? 3 circles tied with something to the left side. Could the 3 circles be like brads or bling or something? Okay. Are they little bitty circles? Or are they bigger circles? Like how does it, what size is it juxtaposed to what the other one was? About 1/2 inch? That's kind of large. That is odd. Well, you said it was like a wonky H. Can you make it into an H? No? Okay. Do you have, like, some texture folders? Like, do you have the Happy, Happy, Happy one from Probocraft? Okay, I would definitely use that. Break up some of those spots with texture, like where you can actually read the words happy on it somehow. And maybe do Swiss dots for one, so that you're not stuck with different kinds of pattern papers, but the same color paper with different embossed pattern, so that you don't have to worry about colors clashing, you know. And then one of your vertical stripes, maybe, or one of your horizontal stripes, maybe make that a ribbon, and another one, make it a piece of paper with a cinnamon on it, and then have this one touch rule. What's that? I touch it to get something else. It's getting used immediately. Ah. Well, that doesn't count for texture folders. Texture folders that can't count for. The package that the texture, or the carton that holds the texture folders. You know. But I like the idea of buttons down at the bottom. You know, have some coordinating buttons. No, it's not, but, you know, my deal about piles is put up 5 objects a day, and your pile goes away. And I didn't believe it at first, but it really happens. It really works. I also like the Fly Fairy, Fly Lady, and doing, you know, her boogies and her 20 items and things. I do that occasionally. I'm still flying baby steps. Ooh, the lacing brads. I have some of those. What? The Fly Lady. Are you familiar with Fly Lady? Aww. Okay, look up flylady.com. And promise you'll come back. Because you may not. I may lose you on Fly Lady. Yes, it is a funny character, but she has some amazing tips. And, you know, some stuff I will never ever do, but some stuff I will always do. Is my house clutter free? No, I have 2 kids and we're working on it. But some places it's better. Yeah. Headline is a romantic Friday night date. Cool. But I love Fly Lady. And I also love OrganizedHome.com. Both of those are 2 of my favorites. And really I do something kind of in between them. But I love both of their tips. Cynthia, yours, I think, is the one who does the stuff for Organized Home. Woo. But she talks to you about, beginning to be a flybaby and baby steps and all that stuff. That's on my list to start again in January. I mean, some of it I will do as we go to Christmas, but I will start again in January, trying to be a flybaby. You need giant steps. Well, you would be surprised what a little bit a day will do. I promise. I mean, because I've done, the 5 items a day to clean off my dining room table, and it's worked. You've been getting many boxes of goodies lately. Well, goodies are good. You could send him some boxes of goodies. He would like that, wouldn't he? Craft Fairy Mother. Yes. Which teams are you on with her? You're on Mold Putty. What else? And Viva Las Vegas stamps. Yeah. I'm on the Sakura team and on the Mold Putty team with her. And then I'm on 2 digital stamp teams. And then I'm on the Crafty Ribbons team, which is a company based in England. And I'm trying to decide if I want to pick up one other thing that I would use a lot. My thing with design teams is I have to really love it and really be excited about it. And, and then unscripted sketches. I don't guess I've ever heard of unscripted sketches. I'll have to go look at your blog and check that out. Yeah, I mean, there's some challenge type teams that are not affiliated with any companies. I want to do more challenges in the new year. That's one of my want to do's. Trying my best not to overbook myself, but some things I'm real weird about challenges. I don't like, and this is why I don't do as much as I would like to do with Fabs challenges, is I don't like over those people that do a challenge and then they'll say, and this is also for these 20 other, challenges. I don't like that. That bothers the heck out of me. And especially like this last challenge that we had for the delightful challenges. It was a whatchamacallit, a bingo card. It's hard not to. I just can't. I want it to be a different card or a different idea. It just, that's me, I know a lot of people, they have a gajillion of them attached to one. And I just can't. I go eek when I see that sometimes. I mean, you've seen the ones with, like, you know, they've got at least 20, 25 challenge teams on there. It'd be one thing if it was just 1 or 2, you know, but to have that many, yeah. So, yeah, it's just crazy. But I need a piece of paper to hang it till it completely dries. The reason this one keeps sticking is because this has that enamel paint in it. The blue that I used was an enamel paint. The turquoisey color. And that's why that one keeps sticking. I have a new crafty friend. Who's my new crafty friend? Yeah, I need to rub powder on it. I've got some powder in the other room. Oh yeah, he keeps joining me. I keep trying to make him go away, and he keeps. Oh no, I want to land here. I want to walk across that. Yeah, I'm loving how this is coming along. Paint him right. That'll teach him. Get out of my way. Tomorrow I'll probably paint some more of those and then get some more lined paper in here before the show tomorrow night. But, I mean, look how chunky it's getting. I mean, obviously some of those white pages will come out, but isn't that fun? Yes. The stripes, absolutely my favorite. This is, yeah, I love the stripes. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I have those two. I did those the other day. And that. See, that's the thing, is it gets addictive. And then I had laid down base coats, and then I came back and added more to it. It's January. It's gonna start getting along. And then we did that, I did last night. I gotta come back and finish that one. I did that last night. I did these last night. I feel like this is one of the pull-out cards. And, yeah, painted that. Left that in there. And let's see. Did a little bit there. And that. Yeah, some things will stay. Some things, like this has already been worked on. That needs to be worked on, but that'll stay. Yeah, I like. That'll need to be worked on. That was the first thing I did in the whole thing. Because I was trying to show them about this. And, you know, I still have, like, that was the overspray of that. So I've got some more of those to play with. I need to get ready to tip in here. And then, I love that. This I love. And then, the page that's... And then I'll do the in-betweens. I might get to do the in-betweens tomorrow as they dry. That's awesome. My webcam, I have it, yes, it's both. I have the Logitech 910, and the reason I have it down right now is because I don't want to get paint all over it. But this is where I was last night, was with the paint. And, it's a Logitech 910, and it is attached right now for stability to a wooden box that I have a pewter astrolabe in. So it's lots of fun. Oh, there's that other page. There it is back here. We need a piece of paper between us, ma'am. There we go. Let's put a piece of paper. This is getting chunky. Chunky monkey. Tomorrow, during the show, I'll work on this. So I'll probably have this base coated. Actually, I could go ahead and do that right now. It's base coated. Do that before I sign off. What do I want to base coat it with? If all else fails, go with gesso. Yeah. Singing Seal's going bye-bye. He's not singing for me anymore. I know. I'm just ugly that way sometimes. But we have to get rid of the seal. The seal has to go. But if I put gesso on this, then I can do whatever I want to on the cover. It will be glorious. Yeah, your camera is on your monitor. Yeah. My computer didn't come with a camera. And last year, I so enjoyed watching all the crazy crafters crafting. And wanted to, you know, I saw that as a unique venue for getting out there and, you know, getting the word across. Because I always liked teaching. It's always been part of my thing that I enjoy doing. You know, I was going to school to be a teacher. Oh, I'm nearing my recording limit? Wow. My recording will stop in 3 minutes. I did not know I had a recording limit. Hang on. Let's do this real quick. Let me finish up this real quick, and then I will come back to you, Susan, just a minute. Okay. Wow. 3 hours is your recording limit, just in case you wanted to know. Thank you for watching me paint on my art journal, my upcycled journal that I'm going to be using as a calendar. Please, please come again tomorrow for my regular Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. Crafty Gig is on every second and fourth Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can follow me at leslieray.blogspot.com or be a fan of Leslie Ray's fan page on Facebook. And then I am also Leslie Ray on Twitter. Most of my products I get through cutandpastememories.com. If you have any special orders that you want that are not in the store, please feel free to email Paula at cutandpaste@tx.rr.com, and she can get most things. So I thank you again. Thank you for coming, and I will see you tomorrow.